Jack Daniels rolls out with another American Single Malt. Earlier this year, Jack Daniels put out a cask strength version of their American Single Malt, finished in Oloroso Sherry Casks. However, this version is the 90 proof version of the same bottle, still coming in at that 100% malt mash bill. Is it going to be as good as the cask strength version? Let's find out. All right, guys, so as I stated, this is very similar to the previous Jack Daniel's American Single Malt release. Biggest difference, though, is that swing in proof points, where I think the cask strengths were like 104 to 108 proof. This one only coming in at 90 proof. Let's get a nose. Yeah, the nose on this one, you can tell, again, that maltiness is definitely present. There's a lot of that chocolate there present on the nose, but then also... again, you're still getting a lot of those like dark raspberries and deep dark cherry notes from those Oloroso Sherry Casks. Further away, you pull out a little bit of nutmeg, but that maltiness is kind of dominating the nose. It's like a chocolate malt from Dairy Queen is kind of what it reminds me of. Further away from the glass, further into the glass. Again, that maltiness, those chocolates, those deep dark chocolates, and then the raspberry and the like that dark cherry kind of really kind of take over further into the glass. Let's get to the palate, guys. Cheers. To me, this one feels like it has more viscosity to it than the cask strength version. Cask strength version, again, I really enjoy, but if I remember correctly, it got a little drying there on the back of the palate. However, this one, from the very front of the palate to the back, it is very silky smooth. There's those layers of that malt, and it's almost like you're going up steps. So, like on the front of the palate, you're getting that chocolatey, that maltiness, and then the fruits are like very subtle kind of fruit notes. But as you get into the back of the palate, those malty notes kind of fade away. And then the deep, dark, rich, like raspberry, and again, like a dark kind of cherry note, make their appearance more on the back of the palate and into the finish than they did on the front. So I kind of like that about it. It's almost taken like a step, down the palate. Very surprised. Let's get a last sip, guys. Cheers. Yeah, again, that maltiness is just, there's that like chocolate malt from Dairy Queen on the front of the palate. But this one is definitely... way more viscous on the palate. It coats the palate very, very well. Definitely drinks its proof point. I would say it actually almost feels like it drinks a little bit lower. Could be because of that, that being 100% malt, not having any kind of rye in it. There's not a ton of sweetness like you would get with corn. Only kind of sweetness that you're getting is like a lot of that fruitiness, like that raspberry and that deep dark cherry, which make their appearance very well known there on the back of the palate. Again, front of the palate, it's more malt dominant, and in the middle of the palate, still kind of like that malty chocolate dominance there, but then that's kind of where the fruits really start to kind of kick in, is that mid palate to back palate. It's like the malt kind of fades away. Deep dark raspberry and kind of cherry really start to shine through the back of the palate and into the finish. It has a medium to long finish. Very surprising, again, for only being 90 proof. But Jack Daniel's continuing to deliver another hitter. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. I want to give a big shout out to the team over at Jack Daniels for supplying me with this bottle here to review on the channel. Guys, again, the cask strength version of this was fantastic. This I may feel is a little bit better. I think it's a little easier to drink. It has more viscosity to it. I feel like the flavors are a little more pronounced than they were in that cask strength version. They sit on the palate a little bit longer than that cask strength version did. But again, this one you're going to find at a cheaper price point. I know they're available in airports and then certain retailers across the nation. But again, I really like how this progresses across the palate. Again, it presents itself in a very unique way where that maltiness is more dominant there on the front and middle of the palate, but you're still getting those subtle kind of like dark fruits there. But then the maltiness kind of fades away as it gets to the back of the palate, and then all of a sudden, like those deep, dark, rich fruits just really kind of make their appearance, take over, and offer a really nice finish without there being any kind of rye influence to this. There's kind of like a nice little spiciness that kind of like pulls down into the finish. Again, big fan of this one. I do believe I like this version better than the cask strength, but again, hats off to Jack Daniels for putting out another hitter of a release, guys. So if you're looking for more reviews like this, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Till next time, guys, stay dusty.